They are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
Recently, you may have heard about changes to the price of Xbox Game Pass subscriptions. At this time, these increases will only affect new purchases and will not affect your current subscription for the market in which you reside, as long as you are on an auto-recurring plan. Should you choose to cancel your plan and repurchase, you will be charged at the new current rate. If for any reason there may be changes to your existing account, we will notify you at least 60 days in advance, and you will have the option to cancel or change your subscription plan at any time. Thank you again for being an Xbox Game Pass subscriber. We'll continue to strive to deliver you high-quality games, amazing value, and an incredible gaming experience. Here are the biggest gaming leaks and news you've probably missed this week. Classic Microsoft shitting their pants and backpedaling for the 30th time this year. It's getting ridiculous. It's not even funny anymore. It's just sad. So here's what's going on now. Xbox emails are going out across Europe saying, "Don't worry everyone, the price increase won't affect you as long as you're on auto-renew." Translation, we're keeping you safer now, but the second you cancel and come back, boom, you're paying the new rate. Game Pass went from 18 euros to 27. That's not a small bump. That's a $10 difference just for being new or forgetting to auto-renew. And yet, some people are saying, "Oh, I didn't get that email. My price is still the same." Yeah, no kidding. Half the user base got one message, the other half got another. It's the usual Microsoft chaos. They can't even communicate a price increase properly. And this is what always happens. Xbox makes a decision. Everyone gets pissed. They panic, send out apology emails, and suddenly they're backpedaling like crazy. Xbox games now $80. Backlash. Sorry, 70 again. Game Pass increase, mass cancellations. Sorry, you keep the old price. We'll just screw over the new people. For now, Xbox 2 terabyte model, $800. At this point, just make it 1,000. Nobody's buying it anyway. Xbox ROG Ally sold out. Yeah, probably because you made 1,000 units total. And Game Pass day one exclusives? What exclusives? That promise aged like milk. The whole day one exclusive dream has become a meme at this point. Let's be honest, the future of Xbox isn't bright. Whether the next console is built by Asus, Samsung, or actually by Microsoft, people aren't going to care. They'll either buy a PS6 or build a gaming PC. At least with a PC, you can play PlayStation games a year or two later. What does Game Pass even bring to the table now? A bunch of indie games, Fortnite, Call of Duty, and Ubisoft classics. Big whoop. And spoiler alert, PlayStation Plus has had Ubisoft classics for years. $120 a year, and it includes first-party bangers like God of War 2018, Ragnarok, Spider-Man, and The Last of Us Part 1 and 2, all remastered for PS5. So check out this post. I swear you cannot make this stuff up. It reads, "Tune in to any of your favorite YouTube gaming channels for your daily Xbox hatred." Okay, cool. But here's the self-roast. Oh, so the comments are deactivated? Yeah, that's usually what happens when someone drops a take they know can't survive 5 minutes of reality. I can literally smell the emotional damage through the screen. You turn off replies when you're not ready for the facts, so fine. Let's go over them again together. Studio closures. Remember those? The "we're investing in our team" speech? Yeah, that aged like milk. Then came the "only 4 games are going to PlayStation" promise. Now look at you. Everything's slowly trickling over because surprise, money talks. And oh, my favorite, the $70 billion Activision Blizzard deal. Microsoft told the FTC they weren't going to raise Game Pass prices. It's all about giving players more value. Remember that? And yet here we are, a 50% price increase for the same subscription. You can't call that growth. That's just greed with better PR. Then we've got hardware prices, $750 to $800 for a Series X that performs on par with a basic price PS5, and the Series S, practically the same price as a PS5 Slim, and still can't run half its games without looking like a last-gen beta test. Phil Spencer once said, "We're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles." Yeah, until the ROG Ally X showed up at $1,000 before tax. So, what changed, Phil? The market or your honesty? And don't even get me started on Game Pass Mega Ultimate. Day one exclusives was the dream, right? Where are they now? Halo was supposed to save Xbox, but Halo Infinite launched unfinished. Starfield makes you load after taking 5 steps, and now you're charging $30 a month because you added Ubisoft Classics and Fortnite.
The explosions, the vibe, the grittiness, the realism. This is Battlefield.
Okay, so Battlefield 6 is about to drop, and man, this game is already making noise, like the type of noise that makes your controller vibrate before you even install it. Let's start with that Day 1 patch. Yeah, I know, we all groan when we hear Day 1 patch, but this one's different. EA's rolling out over 200 fixes and improvements before you even boot up. Think of it like polishing a car that's already gleaming. It's not broken, it's just being fine-tuned for the road. They're tweaking balance, cleaning up the UI, smoothing performance, and squashing bugs before they ever reach your crosshair. And if you're buying it on disc for PS5, you actually get the full game right there on the disc, so you're not stuck staring at a download bar for 3 hours. The patch just takes it from great to cleaner, sharper, smoother. Now let's talk hype, because this is where it gets wild. Pre-orders are smashing records. Battlefield 6 has already hit around 1.7 million pre-orders on Steam alone, and analysts are saying it could hit 5 million in week 1 across all platforms. 5 million. For a series that's been down for a few years, that's like a comeback tour selling out before the first show even starts. The open beta had over 500,000 people playing at the same time, which is nuts. That's not just hype, that's an army. The Battlefield community's hungry again. And now, the big one. The frame rate talk. Everyone wants to know, can it really hit 120 FPS on PS5 Pro? So here's the deal. Officially, EA says Fidelity Mode is your cinematic 60 FPS option, and Performance Mode targets around 80. But they've also teased up to 120 FPS, and that's where the PS5 Pro comes in. The extra GPU muscle basically lets the game stretch its legs. It's like taking the limiter off a sports car. It can hit that top speed, but not on every corner. You'll probably get variable frame rates, somewhere between 60 and 120 depending on what's exploding in front of you. And knowing Battlefield, something is always exploding. So let's just say it. If Call of Duty Black Ops 7 flops, Microsoft isn't just losing a few $100 million bucks. We're talking $500 million, maybe even close to $1 billion down the drain. Like, that's the kind of loss that makes even Satya Nadella start thinking, you know what? Maybe it's time to just pull the plug on Xbox. And honestly, the scary part, that might not even be a crazy thought anymore. Because right now, Battlefield 6 is only 4 days away, and people are hyped out of their minds.
We're breaking the mold, we're aiming for gold. We here to take everything, even your soul. Tell me how you like that. We live and we grow, obsessed with the green. I'm Willem Dafoe. We deal with the foes and turn them to ghosts, yo. Tell me how you like that.
Streamers, YouTubers, gamers, doesn't matter if they're on Xbox, PS5, or PC, they're all saying the same thing. Battlefield is back, and Call of Duty. It's losing steam fast. The Battlefield 6 beta had almost 5 times more players than Black Ops 7's, and the difference in reception is brutal. 99% of FPS creators are out here praising Battlefield like it's 2011 again, while absolutely dragging BO7 through the mud. You can see it in their thumbnails, bright, explosive, hyped for Battlefield, and then you scroll down to the COD ones, and it's all disappointment, red arrows, and what went wrong? Titles. The comments say it all. Even die-hard Call of Duty fans, the ones who swore they'd never touch Battlefield, are jumping ship. And here's where it gets dangerous for Microsoft. Remember, they dropped $70 billion on Activision Blizzard to own this franchise. They already lost around $300 million million on Black Ops 6. They hiked up Game Pass prices because of Call of Duty, and now, if Black Ops 7 fails, that revenue hole gets a whole lot deeper, because when COD doesn't perform, Game Pass cancels skyrocket. That's less recurring income, fewer new players, and a whole lot of angry investors asking tough questions. And if PlayStation 5 and PC gamers decide not to buy it, oh man, the fallout could make Redfall look like a minor hiccup. We're talking massive financial damage that could ripple across the entire Xbox brand. So someone commented on the previous video regarding this topic, and I quote, "So Sony will be a tyrant without competition." Sadly, yeah. But that's really because Sony didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They just focused on what actually works. You always hear people say, oh, PlayStation just makes those same old cinematic, hyper-realistic single-player games. And okay, fair point. But those games define what gaming feels like for millions of people. That emotional, story-driven experience is what built PlayStation's identity. We like that formula. It's not broken. And to be fair, Sony did try to chase trends for a bit. They went down that live service path with Conquered and Marathon. It was their attempt to grab the Fortnite and Destiny crowd. But gamers made it clear real quick. We didn't want another soulless live service shooter. We wanted art. We wanted handcrafted single-player games. Sony heard that loud and clear. And instead of doubling down like some companies do when they fail, they turned right back to what they're good at. Now, we're getting Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei in 2025, and Wolverine. Finally, after 2 years of waiting, we're about to see real gameplay. That's how you listen to your fans. And here's the thing. Sony never forces things on people. They didn't bundle the PS Portal or PSVR and say, take it or leave it. They never said PS Plus or subscription models are the future of gaming. They didn't start throwing all their games on PC day one while devaluing the console. They kept it simple. Make great games. Give people options. Respect your audience. Even their accessories. Yeah, they're pricey. The PSVR 2, the 3D audio headphones, the DualSense Edge. But none of it is mandatory. You buy it if you want to, not because you have to. That's the difference. Sony gives people a reason to buy their console. They sell experiences, not ecosystems. They're not saying everything is PlayStation. They're saying, here's why you want a PS5, because nowhere else gives you games like this. Now look at Microsoft. Every few months, they try to reinvent gaming. One moment, it's all about cloud streaming. Then it's handhelds. Then it's AI. Then it's no more exclusives. Then it's, we're raising prices because of inflation. Like, pick a lane, man. Xbox used to stand for something. Now it's just another experiment every 6 months. And that's why we're here. Sony didn't have to destroy Xbox. They just had to stay consistent while Microsoft lost focus. It's like a race where one runner keeps tripping over their own shoes while the other just keeps a steady pace. You know what's wild? Nintendo just dropped a lawsuit nuke on a Reddit mod. Yeah, a Reddit mod for allegedly running Switch piracy sites. And they're asking for $4.5 million. Not $4,000, $4.5 million. Now, before you go thinking this is some random internet beef, it's way bigger than that. Nintendo claims this guy, who went by Archbox, was basically running what they call pirate shops, like full-on digital black markets for Nintendo games. And apparently, he even asked for donations so people could get faster access to those stolen copies. Imagine turning piracy into a VIP membership. But here's where it gets even crazier. Nintendo says they sent him multiple cease and desist letters, and he just didn't care, didn't respond, didn't show up to court. So now Nintendo's asking for a default judgment, basically saying, if you won't defend yourself, we'll just take the win and your money. And look, love or hate Nintendo, this is what they do. They don't just protect their IP, they go to war for it. Whether it's ROM sites, emulators, or modders, they've been on a crusade to make an example out of anyone touching their code. But what's funny is how headlines make it sound like Nintendo's suing a Reddit mod, as if this is about online moderation or internet drama. Nah, this isn't about Reddit. It's about control, about setting a precedent.
Oh, I want this helmet. Look.
So there's a lot of noise right now around Rockstar. And this time, it's not about GTA 6. It's about Grand Theft Auto 4. Yeah, the classic. The game that redefined open-world storytelling back in 2008. And according to multiple insiders, it might be making a comeback. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's be real. Nothing is officially confirmed. Rockstar hasn't said a word, but reliable insiders, like Tez2, are hinting that a GTA 4 port or remaster is in development, possibly handled by 11 Studios, the same team behind the Red Dead Redemption port. And you know what? The timing makes sense. GTA 6 is still more than a year away, and Rockstar needs something to fill that gap, something to keep people engaged, something nostalgic. And what's more perfect than bringing Liberty City back? It's not random either. If you watch the GTA 6 trailer, Liberty City actually gets mentioned. That could be Rockstar's way of linking the worlds together, setting up some kind of connection. But the big question is, why do these rumors keep coming back? Well, for starters, the PC version of GTA 4 is still a technical mess. It's buggy, unstable, and not even available on modern consoles like PS5 or Xbox Series X. Fans have been begging for a clean version for years, and Rockstar already knows this formula works. When they re-released Red Dead Redemption for PlayStation 4 and Switch, it sold. It wasn't even a full remaster, but people still bought it. That shows there's real demand for their older games. Then you've got Take-Two Interactive, Rockstar's parent company, who recently told investors that new versions of old titles are coming before April 2026. Do the math. GTA 6 drops around 2026. So a GTA 4 remaster before that? It lines up perfectly. But here's the tricky part, the challenges. First, the music licensing. GTA 4 had some iconic songs on its radio stations. Relicensing all of that music today would cost a fortune. Then there's the technical stuff. GTA 4 was built on an old version of the Rage engine, and it used the Euphoria physics system, which was amazing at the time, but hard to rework now. And let's not forget the voice actor situation. Michael Hollick, who played Nico Bellic, had a big fallout with Rockstar years ago over pay. That could easily complicate things if they wanted him back for marketing or new content. So yeah, it's messy, but even with all that, fans still want it. Because GTA 4 wasn't just about chaos. It was emotional. It was dark. It was the story of an immigrant chasing the American dream and realizing it was a nightmare. If Rockstar brings it back, even as a cleaned up port with the DLCS, like The Lost and Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony, it would be huge. Not just for nostalgia, but as a bridge between the old Rockstar and the new one. So whether it ends up being a full remaster or just a simple port, one thing's for sure, Liberty City might rise again. And if it does, it's not just another re-release. It's a reminder of how far Rockstar has come and how much we've missed that skyline. Alright, so let's talk Ninja Gaiden 4, the return of one of gaming's most notoriously brutal series. And somehow, it feels like both a comeback and a rebirth. Picture this: Tokyo, drenched in neon, but rotting from the inside. Demons crawl through the alleys, military drones hover above, and a new generation of ninja rises. That's the setting for Ninja Gaiden 4. And yeah, Ryu Hayabusa is back, but he's not alone this time. There's a new face, Yakumo from the Raven clan, who brings his own bloody flair to the chaos. Think of him as the next evolution of the ninja archetype, faster, more reckless, and powered by something darker called the Blood Raven form. It's like if you mixed Ryu's discipline with a bit of Berserk's rage. Now, what's wild is who's making this. Team Ninja teamed up with Platinum Games. That's basically like mixing the precision of a samurai with the flair of a street brawler. Platinum brings that over-the-top combo choreography, think Bayonetta or Metal Gear Rising, while Team Ninja keeps the old-school punishment and timing-based mastery. The result? A combat system that feels both fluid and deadly. You can switch weapons instantly mid-combo. Like one moment you're slicing with a katana, and the next you're flipping into a spear combo without breaking rhythm. It's not just fast, it's addictive. And then there's the Blood Raven system. It's basically this rage-fueled transformation where your weapon mutates, like your rapier becomes a spinning drill of death. It's stylish, sure, but it's also practical. It helps you break boss armor and open new combo routes. The devs said they wanted every weapon to feel like it has a personality, and early hands-on previews say it delivers. Imagine every battle as a dance between control and chaos. You mess up once, you bleed for it. You master it, you feel like a god. Now, performance-wise, Ninja Gaiden 4 is locked at 60 frames per second on everything, but if you've got a PS5 or Series Series X. There's even a 120 frames per second mode. And it matters, because when you're timing parries at the edge of death, that smoothness makes all the difference. On Series S, it still runs at a steady 60, which is impressive given how much is happening on screen. The campaign goes back to the series' roots: chapter-based structure, high replay value, optional challenge trials, and boss rematches that'll ruin your night in the best way possible. You can play both Yakumo and Ryu across different modes. And yes, there's still that old-school ranking system that judges every fight. That's the kind of game this is. It wants you to suffer, learn, and come back sharper. And because this is 2025, of course there's a deluxe edition. You get skins, bonus weapons, some in-game currency, and access to the first DLC, The Two Masters, coming in early 2026. That DLC's already confirmed to have new weapons for both Yakumo and Ryu, plus an extra story arc that expands on the Bloodraven curse. The Witcher 4 tech demo apparently ran at 60 frames per second, with ray tracing enabled on a base PS5.
This is a technological showcase set in the world of The Witcher 4. What you just saw and are going to see now is running on a standard PlayStation 5 at 60 FPS with ray tracing.
In order to achieve gorgeous foliage density everywhere, while still being memory efficient, fast to render, we believe that a new idea was needed. So instead of the same card approach we've been using for the past 20 years, artists should be free to take a nanite approach to foliage, modeling every single leaf and pine needle. And the old LOD tricks of the past, they needed a complete rethink. And in their place, it's a new adaptive voxel representation in nanite. It's volumetric, it's fully 3D, it is super fast to render. And these dense clusters of triangles turn into these cubes, which at a distance, they're no larger than a pixel, and they react to the changing light of our dynamic sun and our shadows, and they allow artists to render whatever amount of foliage is needed to achieve their vision without compromise.
And no compromise means how ambitious we are when it comes to bringing our vision to life with incredible visuals. But more than that, together with Epic, we created faster way to load the world. We can now bring in more content more quickly for the smoothest possible experience as we fly down to catch up with series.
Sounds impressive, right? Like, on paper, that's almost too good to be true. But here's the thing. This was a controlled demo, a marketing showcase, not a real, fully loaded game running all of its systems at once. And before anyone gets too hyped, let's talk about the reality of what that actually means. The game's being built on Unreal Engine 5, an engine that's still struggling to find its footing when it comes to open-world performance. Most Unreal 5 games right now are gorgeous, but heavy as hell. We've seen this pattern with titles like Lords of the Fallen, Immortals of Aveum, Stalker 2 demos, and even Fortnite in UE5. Stuttering, shader compilation issues, inconsistent frame pacing. It's like the engine is still learning how to walk before it runs. Now, CD Projekt Red is aiming big. They've said, Witcher 4 is the start of a new saga, built from the ground up in Unreal 5 after moving away from their in-house Red engine. That's exciting, sure, but it also means they're still adapting to completely new tech, and that transition takes time. When you combine that with the scale of a Witcher game, open world, dense NPCs, physics, dynamic weather, AI systems, 60 frames per second with ray tracing on a base PS5 starts sounding like a fantasy. Let's also keep in mind what these tech demos actually are. They're basically vertical slices, handcrafted to run perfectly in ideal conditions. No AI, no background streaming, no real combat systems, no dynamic world events loading in the background. It's like showing off a supercar engine on a test bench. It'll look powerful and clean until you drop it into an actual car and drive it through mud and traffic. By the time Witcher 4 actually launches, which, let's be honest, could be years from now, we'll probably be in that PS6 transition window. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a cross-gen title, like Cyberpunk was for PS4 and PS5. It'll look good, sure, but I'd bet the PS5 version will be the one that chugs, pops, and stutters under the weight of all those Unreal 5 systems. And speaking of Cyberpunk, that's another reminder that CD Projekt Red has been here before. Remember how stunning those early demos look? Night City running flawlessly? Then the game actually launched, and it nearly melted base consoles. So yeah, forgive me if I'm a little skeptical this time around. I'm not saying Witcher 4 won't look incredible. It probably will. CDPR knows how to build a world. But Unreal 5's track record on consoles right now doesn't exactly exactly inspire confidence. And when you combine that with the studio's ambition and history, it's hard not to think we're in for another wait for the next-gen patch scenario. So yeah, that 60 frames per second ray trace demo looked cool, but I'll believe it when I see Geralt, or whoever the new protagonist is, sprinting through a fully dynamic world with magic effects, dense forests, weather systems, and enemies swarming without frame drops or hitching. Until then, I'm filing that tech demo under marketing optimism. Fool me once, shame on you.
Shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
You know, it finally feels real now. After years of silence, leaks, and speculation, Marvel's Wolverine is officially set for fall 2026. And man, this one's looking like the brutal, cinematic Wolverine game we've all been waiting for. So here's what's going on. Insomniac dropped the first full gameplay reveal at State of Play, and from the first few seconds, you can tell this isn't Spider-Man with flaws. It's darker, it's raw, it's Logan at his angriest. The story's completely original, not tied to any specific movie or comic. It's Insomniac's own take on Wolverine's world, with that gritty, globe-trotting vibe. You start off in Madripoor, that crime-infested island where every alley looks like a death trap, but you'll also move through Canada's icy wilderness and even Tokyo's neon streets. It's got range, stealth, chaos, blood, all of it. And yeah, they're not holding back this time. This is a mature-rated Wolverine game. Limbs come off, blood splatters on walls. Logan growls like he means it. The combat isn't about juggling enemies or flashy combos. It's fast, heavy, and violent. Every slash feels like it hurts. Now, on the character side, Liam McIntyre, the guy from Spartacus and The Flash, is playing Logan. The game's being led by Brian Horton and Cameron Christian, the same duo behind Miles Morales. So yeah, expect that same cinematic energy, just with 10 times more rage. Enemies? We've got the Reavers, Mystique, and even Omega Red showing up. And that little purple robot teased at the end of the trailer? Yeah, that's a Sentinel prototype. X-Men fans know what that means. Now let's talk tech. This game is PS5 exclusive, built completely for current gen. Digital Foundry already broke it down. Gameplay's running around 1440p with ray-traced reflections, and likely using PSSR. So expect a quality mode at 30 frames per second and a performance mode hitting 60 frames per second by launch. And with the PS5 Pro in the mix, it's gonna look wild. But here's the cool part. Everything about this reveal screams confidence. After the 2023 leaks, everyone thought Insomniac might pull back, play it safe. Instead, they doubled down. They made Wolverine look mean, cinematic, and more grounded than anything they've done. They've already said the next big update's coming in spring 2026, so yeah, they're building up to a proper showcase, not a rush job. So here's where I'll leave you. If Spider-Man was about speed and spectacle, Wolverine is about pain and precision. It's a violent character study wrapped in a cinematic revenge story.